No, I was a late bloomer growing up. I started playing at 10. Nowadays these kids play, 3, 4, 5 years old. I didn't have that luxury because basketball wasn't my first sport I played. It was baseball. So watching my, older brothers play the game of basketball, they kind of introduced me to the game. So I was just a young kid just trying to figure it out. Being an American Christian. I narrowed my schools down to two. It was Seton Hall University and it was St. John's. And I kind of sat down with my brother to try to, come to the best decision possible. Being that my brother Anthony Glover went to St. John's, so I kind of didn't want to, I was trying to step outside of the box. I wanted to, build my own brand. I wanted to build my own name. So I think me personally, I don't have nothing with no regrets. So I feel like maybe if I would have went to St. John's, they probably would have cleared me. But being that I wanted to, do my own thing and create my own lane for myself, I decided to, go to Seton Hall. Before Seton Hall, Mike Glover was just a guy that was just trying to, earn my respect on the court. I got tired of being called Little and Glover. I wanted to, obviously, become the best at my time in the city and throughout the world too. I always play with a chip on my shoulder, like every time I stepped out there on the court. So to never give up. I felt like I've been going through adversity since I was 14. The goal, I feel like the lesson I've learned is to never give up, man. When your back is against the wall and everybody's rooting against you and stuff like that, how do you respond? How do you react? Like I said, again, me playing in 3 different high schools, 4 different colleges, my back was against the wall. People didn't think I was gonna survive it. They didn't think I was gonna make it. They didn't think I was gonna go to school. They just, and I used all of that as motivation. I've used all of that, all the back talk, everybody was saying stuff. I used all of that as motivation, and I pretty much expressed that on the basketball court. So shout out to the people that motivated me growing up. They know who they are. I'll say Iona chose me. I love everybody out there in New Rochelle because part of the history. A lot of people don't really know this as well. I had other schools after Seton Hall. I had Arizona, I had UNLV, but due to all the situations that was going on in Seton Hall, they were kind of nervous and they didn't want to deal with me. So pretty much, I narrowed my schools down to it was Iona and it was Hofstra. So I decided not to do the Long Island route. And I kind of, I met Coach Klus. One day I met him and I went in his office and he spoke to me and he told me, listen, you're gonna earn every minute, of playing time if you come here and work hard. And he pretty much told me the things that I needed to hear, not what I wanted to hear. And he gave me a fair shot. And, for my, last 2 years, my junior and senior year, I've started every game. So I've earned my minutes, I've earned my playing time, I've earned my spot there. So I would like to say New Rochelle definitely changed me in a way too. It helped me evolve my game as a player on the court and off the court. So my first contract overseas was Turkey. It's funny because I had, being that we on 12, I think the passport place is over there too. So I was forced, I had to get I got my passport expedited too, like that week, because I had to go to Turkey. I think it was that Friday and I had to get it expedited that Wednesday. So yeah, it was Turkey, played in the TBL, the top league in Turkey. Had the opportunity to play against it was Jordan Farmar, it was Sasha Vujicic, it was another guy, I forgot his name. But yeah, I played it, and I played it, D Brown, I went to Illinois, another tough guy. And I'm a rookie, at the time, and I think that's what got me going. I think I averaged, 14-7 at the time as a rookie, and that league, it's not normal. So, but playing with older veterans at that time, and me being young, coming in not knowing anything, culture shock, homesick. But I was out there for, I think that was my longest contract. I was out there for 9.5 months. It was definitely an experience. It was definitely an experience. A moment when I felt like it was over, when my career was coming to an end, when I think it was my last country I played in. It was Venezuela. This was 2023. This was around April. And I was there till in June, July. I knew it was coming to an end when this how the way, as far as in the business aspect, the way I was being treated, the way I was being mistreated. Me being a 13-year veteran, playing in 16 countries, the amount of in the business aspect, it wasn't as authentic, and it wasn't the same as when I first came into to my professionalism career. So I would say when I was in Venezuela, and plus, as far as salary wise, the money wasn't on time. So if you're a professional athlete, playing overseas and stuff like that, you got to know that you get paid once a month or twice a month. So your money has to be paid on time, and I wasn't being paid on time, and I felt like I had to file a lawsuit against the team, but I decided to drop it. That's when I knew like pretty much this career was over. The moment that was going through my head, it was like, how can I be treated the way I'm being treated as far as on the business tip, because I always showed up to work on time. I've always been a great player on and off the court. So to be treated the way I was, as far as not being paid on time, not being treated with the proper respect, I was questioning the organization. I was questioning the general managers and stuff like that. So, and I had no other choice but to turn to my agent and let him know that if this don't work itself out, then I'll be forced to leave the country. I would say the Philippines, because that's one of my favorite countries I played in, and to play in the PBL, in the PBA, you got to be one of those ones. And I think that time I played against Bill Walker, and I had 30 and 20 that game. So and I got a tremendous bonus. So I think that was one of my big moments for sure against Bill Walker. Shout out to my boy Bill. When I thought it was over, pretty much just having a great support system. I always feel like when you playing, in any professional league, like when you playing in, overseas, you always gonna need that support, because there's gonna be times where you don't want to be there. It's just like work, like a 9 to 5. It's times where you're gonna wake up not want to go to practice. You're gonna wake up not want to do anything, but to have that support always and make sure that's always consistent. That's always a great thing, because trust me, it'll make everything easier and smoother, make your day go by faster. You won't really stress as much, and most importantly, your performance will be better when you have that great support system with you. So I just felt like my family and friends really helped me through my whole journey on playing overseas, and I couldn't thank them enough.